What would your plan be for the old Six Flags site?
Absolutely, Travis. At the end of the day, the residents want to see the Six Flags site back into commerce. So I look forward to working with the Bayou Phoenix group to ensure that that site gets put back into commerce. And I certainly look forward to inviting the Bayou Phoenix group back to the community to give the community an update on where things stand right now. But Travis, let me just say, it's going to be important that the next city council person be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. While Bayou Phoenix is important and the Six Flags site, Lincoln Beach is just as important as well. Bringing the Plaza site back into commerce is just as important. Bringing the Kenilworth Mall site back into commerce and bringing a grocery store to the Lower Ninth Ward is important too. We have to ensure that the Lower Ninth Ward is on our radar. So while focusing on the Six Flags site is important and a priority for our community, we have many priorities that we're going to have to be able to focus on simultaneously. I'm ready to do that, hit that ground running on day one. No training wheels needed with me.
All right, let's go 60 seconds with this question. Since you brought up the Lower Ninth Ward, let's talk about that. We did a story at the Katrina anniversary. We all know that progress has been slow in the Lower Nine. About 15,000 people lived there in 2005, just about 4,000 today. In 60 seconds, Representative Hughes, what is your plan, not just to get business, but to get population back down to the Lower Ninth Ward?
Absolutely. Great question, Travis. You know, prior to Hurricane Katrina, the Lower Ninth Ward was always the beacon of black home ownership in New Orleans, and so housing is going to be a key priority for the Lower Ninth Ward. General Honore has already made it clear that he has a plan to bring affordable housing to the Lower Ninth Ward. I certainly look forward to partnering with him and working with him because we do have to grow the population of the Lower Ninth Ward, not just in terms of home ownership, but renters. Many developers are looking to invest in the Lower Ninth Ward, and it's incumbent upon the city to be a partner. And so we're going to have to ensure that the right incentives are in place. Let me also just say I'm very proud of the work that the New Orleans Redevelopment Authority is doing, NORA, under the leadership of Brenda Breaux, and the Board of Commissioners, many of whom live in District E, either the Lower Ninth Ward or New Orleans East. The New Orleans Redevelopment Authority is going to be a critical partner as we look to enhance and rebound the Lower Ninth Ward. Top priority for me.
I know the 5th District does touch parts of District E, but the 7th is the big one. Do you have a plan to add any additional officers, or would you push for that if you're elected to office?
Absolutely. Thank you, Travis. And as always, public safety is at the top of everyone's mind in the city of New Orleans, and that includes certainly the residents of District E. Partnerships will matter, and so I look forward to working with the new Chancellor of the Southern University at New Orleans, Dr. Joseph Bowie. SUNO has historically had a very robust criminal justice program that put potential NOPD officers in the pipeline, and so I think that will be a great step with SUNO partnering with the NOPD, number one. Number two, we have to look at going back to some of the strategic partnerships that we had post-Katrina. For example, there was a time where the Levee Board Police actually patrolled Hain Boulevard. Could the Harbor Police come in and help patrol in the Lower Ninth Ward? Troop NOLA is on the ground, and so they are focusing on violent crime. We certainly want to continue that partnership with them. And so robust partnerships are going to be critical as we look at and approach public safety in District E. Fully committed to that. We must stay the course.
And what's your plan for the Chef Highway corridor, especially right there near Village de l'Est and the Michoud area?
Absolutely. Well, when we look at, Traverse, the entire Chef Mentor Highway corridor that's located within District E, we see tremendous potential. In fact, we actually see some bright spots going on right now. Right now at the corner of Chef and Crowder, for example, you see a multi-million-dollar investment taking place. At the corner of Chef and Reed, you see a new O'Reilly Auto Parts store coming to that corridor. So businesses are investing. However, we must continue to clean up the corridor. Code enforcement is going to play a key role, and that's why it's important that we continue to overhaul code enforcement, properly invest in code enforcement, and ensure the necessary accountability. And as you get down the Chef corridor towards St. Mary's and closer to Dauman, Travis, we're going to have an honest conversation as a community. Unfortunately, there's some behavior taking place along the Chef corridor that would not be allowed in any other community in our city. And so we're going to have to be more intensive about keeping our community beautiful and family friendly.
if you are elected to office in 60 seconds, how do you break this stigma that is perceived with New Orleans East or District E that, hey, there's just not a lot of progress there? What's your plan, in essence, in 60 seconds to try to change the story about New Orleans East?
Travis, that's a great question. As I've said along this campaign trail, and as I've said for the last 6 years as the state representative, District E does not have a crime problem. District E does not have a people problem. District E has an image problem. So there's a couple things that I will look to tackle aggressively. Number one, I see myself as the chief ambassador for District E, for the New Orleans East and the Lower Ninth Ward. Commercial blight continues to plague New Orleans East in particular. As you ride the I-10 corridor, you see a blighted building on Plaza Drive that's been there for years that should have been torn down a long time ago. You see the former Eastlake Plaza site with signs that were blown out on August 29, 2005 that still remain blown out and blighted. And so cleaning up our image will be a key piece of this puzzle. But Travis, I certainly look forward to partnering with the media because unfortunately the media sometimes just doesn't get it right. They lump New Orleans East in a bucket when anything happens, and that creates and continues into the negative stigma of New Orleans East and District E. I'm Jason Hughes, number 50 on the ballot. Some of you may not know my name, but you most certainly know my work. I'm not known for being a show horse because I'm a workhorse. And for the past 6 years in the legislature, I have rolled up my sleeves, my head has been buried, delivering results for the citizens of District 100. Over $4 million for New Orleans East Hospital, $5 million for a new STEM Innovation Center, over $1 million invested into NORD and our youth, $500 million for Lincoln Beach, and the list goes on. I look forward to change for District E.